Good morning, people. Today is November 9th, 2025. Wanted to give my thoughts on this shutdown. In case anybody who didn't know or refused or failed to read Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030, and even if you watched movies such as like The Hunger Games, The Purge, these elitists were putting right in front of your faces what their plans were. Their plans were to depopulate the world and make the rest of the able-bodied people slaves working and renting their home, their furniture, their phones, clothes, owning nothing, and supposedly being happy about it, and happy about eating bugs. If you take a look at the shutdowns that was caused by the Democrats, and yes, this is their fault, and I'm not saying that the Republicans, the Independents, and the rhinos up there in Congress aren't just as corrupt and aren't a part of the problem, because they are. But with the failure of funding Medicaid and SNAP to Americans, they're not going to do it. They want the veterans, the disabled, the seniors, and those who refuse to work and expect the government to take care of them. They want you to die because to them, you're not useful as a worker. I'm disabled. I have a bad heart condition. My cardiologist called me in this past week when my water heater busted and they were fixing it, that they're very concerned. My life is at risk. So I'm on borrowed time. That's why I live each day as it's going to be my last. I'm grateful for what I do have, and I appreciate what I have. And I'm thankful to God that I get to wake up another day and spend time with my husband, who's been fighting to get his spine surgery for a fractured spine. So I'm praying that I don't die. However, that being said, in movies such as The Purge and The Hunger Games, the elitists were putting through movies what they planned on doing to everybody. They want to control your money. They want to tell you what you can and cannot buy. And if they don't like the fact that you disagree with their policies or agenda, well, you just don't have access to your money. And I'm sorry to have to say this, because I'm a person who loves life. But we have to open our eyes and realize that the government declared war on all of us, all the American people. Now, I disagree with the Democrats on their real agenda, and it wasn't to make health care affordable for Americans. That's a lie, and they know it. We know it. They just want to give the illegals health care. And Americans don't want to support illegals and give them free food and free housing and free medical. Illegals need to leave. They need to be kicked out and come here the right way, the legal way. Now, the thing I'm about to say, I really didn't want to have to say. But those who have their own militia groups and those who don't, it is time, since the government declared war on the American people, it is time for us to go to war. Not amongst each other, against the government. It is time to go after the Democrats and any politician who is trying to kill us. Because what they're doing is illegal. When you try to attempt to kill people that you were elected by to represent, then the people must take matters into their own hands. We need to go up there. And I'm not advocating violence, that type of war. But we need to march up there and force them to open up the government. And that means sitting there and not moving until they open up the government. Now, like I said, I'm not advocating for violence, that type of war. The type of war I advocate for is a quiet, peaceful protest. And to force them by descending, every American going there and descending on the Capitol in D.C. until they reopen the government. That, in a way, is a show of force that we're not happy. And we as voters should remember this and never forget and vote their asses out. And make it clear we're not going to put up with this bullshit anymore. That is where we're at. Because if we Americans don't do anything, then they are going to continue to get away with this kind of abuse, and that is not acceptable. The elderly, also known as seniors, we are very valuable people. We have knowledge, we have experience. Disabled people are still valuable people. What these motherfuckers don't understand is life is valuable. I do agree, however, for those who are able-bodied, who have abused the system and passed down for generations their Section 8 housing, they must go to work. The ones who have been on the system of food stamps and are able-bodied but have been selling their food stamps to get their hair, their nails, go on vacations, buy their Gucci and Versace handbags. If you can buy your Gucci and Versace handbags, you can go to work. You do not need food stamps. Those able-bodied people who like to lay around on their fat ass that are able-bodied need to get up off their ass and go to work. That I do agree. They need to be cut off. But for the disabled, the veterans, and the seniors, they're the ones that truly deserve Section 8 and food stamps. But the able-bodied people, get up off your ass and get off the system. That's how I feel. And that's all I gotta say. And I ask for people to keep me in your prayers regarding my heart issue. I'm a very kind and compassionate person. I have empathy. And I'm also a loyal and traditional wife. But please, y'all, keep me in your prayers regarding my heart condition. And if at some point my cardiologist needs to do surgery on my heart, I ask that you pray that I make it through that. Thank y'all and God bless, and I appreciate y'all hearing me out. I have a lot of love and gratitude for y'all, and I appreciate the ones who do follow. Have a blessed day.